Hi everyone, so in this video I'm going to give a short reflection on my time at the March for Life this year. My name is Victoria Holmes, I'm a podcast producer and I also work for a political media company, and these videos on Catholicism are sort of a side hobby of mine. So every year, marchers rally together on the mall and then march from the mall where there's like a pre-march rally up to the Supreme Court steps. And this is because they are marking the anniversary of the passing of Roe versus Wade. Now, Roe versus Wade was overturned.
The court's ruling is reverberating far beyond the country's borders.
When the Supreme Court struck down Roe versus Wade, the whole world was watching.
So you're thinking, what are they doing now? That's a good question, and I have several interpretations of what they're doing. First, when you look on the organizer's website, you'll see that they're trying to push more efforts towards state marches now that the issue is more of a state's issue. Second, they're also trying to push forward what they call a culture of life. And the way that I interpret a culture of life really has to do with the fact that they're broadening what pro-life means outside of just abortion and really kind of giving sort of dignity or returning dignity to people who society may not call normal.
Life is why we march, with joy, with conviction, with purpose. Because life, all life, is a gift. But before the cheering crowds, the homemade signs...
Now, the second interpretation was not on the website, but it is something that is not uncommon, especially among Catholic circles, when it comes to discussing what it means to be a human being and the dignity that comes with that. I also annoyingly saw a group called the Patriot Front, which is a white nationalist group of mostly men, but I think men and women can join, who came to the protest, and they were holding signs, one that said basically like, "We are Nazis." And another interesting part that I saw is that there was a man who was holding a crucifix, and so I assume that they're Catholic because crucifixes are something that I really only see Catholics hold. And I really can't understand what reason they would be at a pro-life rally for. And I can understand messed up theology, but I can understand why they might be protesting immigration through using theology, messed up, incorrect theology, but still, there are points that I've seen on Twitter where I'm like, that's incorrect, but I see how you're trying to draw an incorrect logical equation from A to B that equals C. But when it comes to a pro-life rally, I'm not exactly sure what the reasoning would be. And I talked to a man there who was also Catholic, and he has been like following this group, and he basically gave his own answer.
Do you follow them, or is this, you just knew that they were here?
They've done this the past several years. We're part of a group of concerned citizens.
This guy wasn't really that sad. He was heckling us the whole time. He's not really sad. He's putting on an act for you guys.
It's true. It's true.
I wish you could have said something funnier.
So does that happen where you like interact with them?
Oh yeah, I mean the entire thing is to have the interaction because you know, they live in their own little fucking bubble. They need to understand that this is not mainstream, that they are not fucking welcome here. We do not want Nazis, we do not want fascists in this country.
Now, to be fair, I did not see them go into the rally. They were kind of hanging on an opposite side of the mall where the rally entrance was, and they were just standing still. And the sad part was I saw what looked like a procession to the left of them as they were like gathering, and I kind of saw that procession sort of like dissipate because I think they were trying not to, I guess, be in the same space as where this spectacle was going on, because people were going up to them. There was loud music, there was people yelling on megaphones, and there were people who were just trying to, I guess, keep the peace as people were trying to, you know, direct them away towards that little front and more towards where the rally was actually happening. Overall, even though it seemed like a widely attended rally, I think there still felt like there was some disorganization around the message about what they were trying to say. I still don't understand what they mean by a culture of life, and I would welcome a lot more discussion about what that means, because it seems to really just center around the abortion issue, which, if that's what it means, then fair, but I wish that was made a little bit more clear, because a culture of life, at least in Catholic circles, means a lot of stuff. And so I just think we need to have a little bit more of a definition of what that movement is right now, besides, oh, it's now states' efforts, and now we need to make a culture of life. Other than that, this march happened right before that big storm hit DC, I'm in Dallas right now. I am going to DC tomorrow, and I am scared because I have been seeing all over social media that there has been very little city-led efforts to clear the streets, and it's going to be very cold, and some people are saying that the ice could last until March because it doesn't seem like it's really going to melt all the way until another refreeze happens. So that's what I have to look forward to. I looked at the weather for Dallas, and it was 70 degrees or 60, mid 60s, high 60s next week. And I'm like, why am I torturing myself? The week that I leave is the week that it starts getting warm. But it is what it is. And I asked for prayers for this move, and prayers for another personal intention that I have. And I'll pray for y'all. I try to pray the rosary every day. And if y'all have any special intentions, I'll be sure to include that in my prayers. Lent is coming up. February 18th is Ash Wednesday. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I don't know. We'll see. I have a lot of good friends who are giving me suggestions, but I think maybe the one thing that I do want to do is like volunteer. Let me know what volunteer efforts y'all are doing, because that's what I feel more called to, and I'll see if there is something that I can do in DC. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I hope everyone has a great rest of your week.